Welcome back in, everyone, to our interview booth here at the 2025 Arizona Tennis Classic. Joining us now, a man you will all know best, of course, as the back-to-back defending champion of this event. Your number one seed here this week in Phoenix. Oh, by the way, it's a returning champion, of course, to our Cracked Rackets platforms. It's our yearly check-in with Nuno Borges. Nuno, it is always good to see your smiling face, my friend.
It's good to be back.
Welcome back to Phoenix. Two-time defending champ, man. That's not something you can say very frequently about any event in life. How does it feel to be back, and how excited are you for another week here in Phoenix?
Well, obviously this week is always that bittersweet moment.
Sure.
Because obviously, once again, Indian Wells didn't go the best way. Actually, it wasn't that bad. It's just, I arrive here with a loss, but at the same time, I start seeing the stuff back again and all the memories rushing back, and it's always good to relive those moments, especially walking by the pool there. It brings me right back to that moment, so it's really nice.
You make it a point never to go in that pool until, or hopefully if, after that final, you look at it from afar and you're like, I'll see you on Sunday.
Maybe, I guess so. Though even last year, it was a big surprise still for me to, win it all. And this year is exactly the same feeling. It's a stacked tournament once again, and I got some big battles coming up, and hopefully I can go far. But I gotta keep the same perspective. I gotta earn every single match I play, and I know it's not given at any point. These guys are out there to get me too, so I just got out there and use those feelings from the previous years towards my favor, and hopefully I can play some great tennis.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward certainly to seeing that, and you kind of mentioned it, the bittersweet nature of being here.
Yeah.
Now, you held seed, like you lost to Grigor. There's no shame in that, obviously, at Indian Wells. Miami, of course, starting next week, so you can use this as a way to get more matches in.
Yeah.
How valuable is it to have an event like this sandwiched in between? Do you like how they've formatted it and provided these opportunities for players?
I think so, and the fact that the tournament has so many high-level players still coming from Indian Wells, I think it means a lot. So even the qualifying this year is full of big names, and I think that shows. If the opportunity is here and the players are taking it, I assume that's the best example you can get to know at least this is a good event to play at. And when things don't go well at the 1000s, it's good to not have to stay all 2 weeks in the States just practicing. It's good to still be able to get some rhythm. Yeah,
no, and obviously for you, rhythm is something you've had so far this season. I mentioned the win at Indian Wells. You make third round Australian Open. By the way, I should have said this in the intro. Last guy to ever beat Rafa in a final. That's how you should be introduced everywhere you go.
It's been a little bit like that.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so hand up. Apologies for not adding to that list.
Worries.
But we've talked about the Rafa thing before. I want to ask you about the Alcaraz experience.
Yeah.
What was it like to get to face off against Carlos in Australia? Just, you've played Medvedev, you've played all these different guys now, but what was the Alcaraz experience like?
Well, when I played him in Barcelona, it was also very intimidating.
Yeah.
Clearly, I was not the crowd favorite there. And same thing in Australia. Sometimes it's tough when he does like a crazy shot and the whole crowd goes and you can really feel the shaking of the court. And even in your chest, just everybody screaming like, "Oh!" And he's like, asking for more, doing this. Like, man, it certainly isn't easy, but at the same time, when you start to embrace it and enjoy it, as the atmosphere of the moment, it's not like people are against you. It's just they're cheering more for the other guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time was very friendly, so it was a great experience. I wish I could have played a little better, but that's how I guess he makes people feel all the time.
No, I can only imagine. In fact, I talked to another opponent of his in Australia, Lee 2, earlier today here, and I apologize, I'm going to swear again because I don't know how else to describe it. When he has his feet set for a forehand on the ad side, do you just think like, man, I'm fucked? Like, because I just don't know. It's just like he could go cross, he could go inside out, he could go inside in, or he could play the drop shot. Like, I just think him standing, feet set, ad side with a forehand is the most dangerous thing in men's tennis right now.
It certainly is dangerous. I don't know if it's the most dangerous thing.
Other than your forehand.
No, I mean, returning to Riley's serve, maybe that's a little... Just
that's
any
literally
serve,
dangerers. Yeah.
Any serve. It can hit you with 150 mile per hour serve.
Very fair.
He puts it on your toes whenever he sets up that forehand, and he's like, giving a little bit of time to like, what am I gonna do? I think even him thinks of all the options he has, and sometimes it's too many.
Yeah, sure.
But that's why his drop shot works so well, because everybody's already like ready for a laser for him.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when it comes a dropper, it's like you're standing so far back waiting for something so strong, and then it cuts you off guard. But yeah, certainly is his biggest weapon, plus his legs that can get them anywhere on court and pass you from whatever. Just an amazing athlete and with a big forehand. Yeah.
No, it's fair to say, that he is a pretty darn good player. Certainly the results speak for themselves. For you, again, to get to have played him a couple of times now, to play Dimitrov and Indian Wells, to get to play all these top 50 players, it may sound like a silly question in its simplicity. How close do you think you are to those guys now as you've continued to progress, and what is the thing you're continuing to work on to get you there?
I think I'm not going to say I'm sometimes ahead of them. It's just like I'm trying to get as close to them as many times as possible in different conditions, you know. Obviously, in some conditions, I will have a little more advantage depending on who I'm playing against, of course. And maybe on some day I'm closer than other days. And even in the same conditions, playing on Tuesday and Wednesday is sometimes a completely different match. But all the work I put in is to try to be close to them always. Yeah. And if I can consistently, play them and feel like I'm close to making a win, even against Dimitrov was like 6-3, 6-4, but that second set really I thought that could have gone my way. A couple different break points, and it literally flips towards my side, and that's what I need to try to get always that feeling that like I was very close, and make them feel also that. But there's still so much to do, so much to work on, to actually feel like I can consistently beat, especially the top 20, top 10 players, feel like I can hang with them. It's a big challenge. Yeah.
Again, silly question alert. How difficult is it to get better during the course of a season? In the sense of, you talk about how these things you want to continue to improve on. How difficult is it to build time for you to do that, to not just get caught up in the week in, week out match grind?
I think it is very tough in tennis because our season is so long. Yeah. You're always putting the performance into a priority one and not into getting better and putting some work in. A lot of times just I try to make it the other way as much as I can, even though it might hinder my performance a little bit sometimes. I hope not too much, but even the day before the match, sometimes you're working on something. And sometimes that, messing with the technique and messing with some decisions and your game can mess with your performance too. But I think in the long run, I think it helps me and at least makes me feel like I'm going the right way. If I'm not playing great in March, I keep building until maybe in the summer I get to, feel a little better. And then the conditions change. Yeah, of course. And then what you were working on maybe doesn't work anymore. Yeah, of course. And you need to work on new things. Yeah. So you need to use those little moments sometimes to work on something, even though you can't really build on it too much. And just kind of, when you go back into it 1 year later sometimes, you try to grab that feeling again and those, especially the conditions you were playing in and those little tips that you were feeling back then and try to bring it back and try to accelerate that, that rhythm you lost. I think that's my my best way of trying to explain this. And,
absolutely.
But I know maybe if you're in the later stages of your career, maybe you focus only on performance and recovery and maybe not putting as much work in, but trying to feel the best you can, because that's going to give you a few more years or a few more seasons of great tennis. But I think for me now, I still gotta use every moment I can to try to build.
Yeah. Well, so to that theme, and I've now known you for more than half a decade. We're getting old, my friend. I don't like to hear. You've aged better than I have. The photos will be proof of that.
28 doesn't feel right.
Dude, I turned 30 in October.
That's crazy.
I was at the women's indoors, and a player on the team goes, "How old are you?" I go, "Oh, I turned 30 this year." "You're 30?" I was like, "Shut! let's
so big.
Yeah, I'm never gonna have to say that out loud again. When I first met you, said with love, you're not the biggest fan of going to the gym.
No.
Have you fallen in love? Fallen in love's the wrong way, but have you learned to embrace it? Have you learned that sometimes the biggest strength about the gym life is just staying in that gym day in, day out? Like, how have your habits changed?
No, certainly. I think my love for the gym has been increasing exponentially since.
Because you're good at it now.
No, it's. I just feel like there's so much I could improve on,
Okay.
and sometimes I feel like it's even more important than spending extra time on court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've played already so much tennis, and you go into the matches, and again, you're playing so much, and I think the gym is a little more than just getting bigger and stronger. It's also prevention and keeping you healthy physically, to endure all these grinds, because in the end we're going to play so much tennis. If we can use the gym towards us in terms of being able to withstand all the jumping and the side shuffling and sprinting back and forth, serving 200 times a match, I think it all starts in the gym. At least for me, it's been a big plus, for sure.
It's a credit to you again what you've become physically. My last 3 questions for you are on that same theme. For your game right now, what is the focus for you of this is what I want to continue to improve on, this is what I need to continue to do to keep this level and continue to find ways to progress?
I think in general, I still think my movement still has ways to go. I think it will always be, because I know I'm never going to be the fastest.
Okay.
I think I can always focus on that. But a lot of times it's mostly just staying healthy. Later last year I was having some wrist issues and then knee and then back. Like it starts coming
old.
because this. Yeah. And I don't think it's just that. It's we're playing so much.
Of course.
That's been a lot of the focus. And whenever I'm feeling 100%, which is not a lot, maybe I try to push a little further.
Sure.
But even still, I still try to do that. But but staying healthy has been key.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get faster, not get chubby. Be careful with my diet.
Yeah.
I think that's helping me. At least to be able to engage as much as I can in practice, and I think the level starts to come. My intensity, how quickly I can react to the return and their serve. Those things I think make a big difference, and I've been trying to be able to generate a little more power on my strokes when conditions are slow, like Indian Wells, and I think I'm doing a little better on that. It's still, I think, to play the top guys in the conditions I usually don't like, I still need to do much better.
Fair enough. No, and again, where once there was a stomach, I saw there are now abs, folks. Like it's the real deal. This Nuno Borges athletic transformation. No, obviously coming up soon. I know we've got the Sunshine Swing, but then comes what everyone knows as the 5th major, your go-to event, Estoril, coming up. Just how much to have that opportunity to play at home and to just have an opportunity to be in Portugal for a little bit, how valuable is that, given, again, I imagine that's maybe one of 4 weeks you're there during the season?
Yeah. Actually, this year is kind of a weird one because it will be a 175 between Madrid and Rome.
Right, yeah.
So it's not for granted, and at the same time, I wish I go far in Madrid, and I'll do my best. Because in the end, it is a priority for me to play well at the 1000s, but at the same time, I really want to be there in Estoril to play at home. It's a big tournament we have at home, and I think it's huge. I wish we could have a couple more, because sometimes it brings out the best in us and that extra motivation to play in front of a home crowd and everybody cheering for you. It's not like I don't get that sometimes in other places, but it's still special to do it in your home country. And 2026 will be back to a 250, so I can hopefully guarantee playing that one that year. This year we'll just have to wait and see.
No, I love to hear that. Well, then my last question for you, and look, I've been fortunate. I've gotten to watch you compete plenty over the years, but for fans who maybe don't tune into every Nuno Borges match, what should they be looking for from you to say, oh, like Nuno's brought his best tennis today? What do you hope fans who watch you play take away from the experience?
Basically, you're asking me what to expect when they come to watch me. Some backhand spoons, some drop shots, hopefully.
Yeah. The kick serve.
Some kick serves. I've never seen my kick serve as an exceptional, like you do say.
Okay. You're wrong. Everyone's wrong about something.
These guys are making it hard to stand out as much. But I don't know, some like forehand going sideways a little bit. Maybe breaking a string on the cross because of that. That'd be kind of rare because I try to play with a new string, but it could happen.
Yeah, I like.
And basically that's it. Hopefully some serve winners, not aces. Doesn't have to be aces all the time. But.
No, just a good setup for a +1 more than anything.
Yes.
But no, certainly it is always a plus for us to have the opportunity to see you here, and certainly I always appreciate your taking the your willingness to chat, your tolerance of our nonsense. So Nuno, good to see you, my friend, and obviously
I appreciate it being here.
Congratulations and good luck to you this week in Phoenix.
Thank you. I'm excited.